What did these guys do when they realised their cocks was too big?
I presume they threw him overboard.
Kind of. It's a really sweet story, this. So we all know what the cox does.
The cox
They
tells
steers the boat.
Steers the boat, yes,
stops them from rowing into things.
from coxswain, they're literally a boat servant.
Also sort of shouts row, which
Shouts
doesn't
row,
seem
yep.
necessary in any other sport.
It makes him sweat.
No one in the 100 metres has got a guy on the side going left, right, left, right.
This boy is the cox.
He became the cox. He was the replacement. This is... First of all, I love these outfits. Can I just say, if every sport wore these...
in your underpants.
I think they're sweet. They look gorgeous.
Anatomically correct.
Not necessarily.
This is the Dutch coxed pair from the 1900 Olympics. So what happened was they got through to the final and they had an overweight cox called Hermanus Brockman, and they thought it was going to cost them the gold. So they had noticed that the French crews were using children as coxes, and so they decided to get one of their own, and they plucked one from a crowd, this boy. He'd already been discarded, actually, by the French as being too heavy. He's between 7 and 10 years old. Nobody knows his name, but with him coxing, they won the gold, and then he vanished back into the crowd. He is an Olympic gold medalist, and nobody knows his name. Isn't it the sweetest story?
Also, the idea that he was telling his friends, yeah, I went and I saw the rowing, it was amazing. Where did you sit? I had a great seat. Yeah, it's in the boat.
He's the only anonymous gold winner ever in the Olympics. The medal was given to the overweight cox who didn't actually row, Hermanus Brockman. He got the gold medal.
Oh, and he was disappointed that it wasn't made of chocolate.
This is a human optogram. What does it prove?
I always thought optograms was that thing where they could look in your eye and see who'd murdered you.
What now?
This is like before, like, DNA and stuff. And they were like, oh, no, oh, no.
We always had DNA. It's really... Because more like before we knew
They could
about
test it. Yeah, so I'm a Victorian policeman. This woman's died. I know, we'll get her eyes out, have a look on the retina. The last thing she's seen, that'll be the killer.
Was that like a commonly held...
Well, it began in the 17th century, so there was a priest called Christopher Shiner, and he claimed he had seen the image of a flame on the retina of a frog that he had been dissecting. So then you get the development of photography, so that's about 1840s, and that seemed to provide a sort of theoretical basis for this notion. There was a German physiologist called Wilhelm Kuhn. 1878, he immobilised a rabbit and forced it to look at a window for 3 minutes, and then he decapitated it, cut open the eye, and the next day he said that the retina dried and revealed an image of the window. That was the last thing that the rabbit had been staring at.
Right, so he was able... he was able to reveal that he killed the rabbit. That's a bit of luck. I could have saved him a bit of time there.
1880, he decided to repeat this experiment with the head of a guillotined murderer, a man called Erhard Gustav Reif, and his left eye was dissected 10 minutes after he died, and the resulting optogram is that picture that we saw at the very beginning, and it has been suggested it's the blade of the guillotine. It seems very unlikely. He was blindfolded at the time.
The last bit of toast he had.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all we have is that sketch. We don't have the actual image. So this idea about optograms was taken up by fictional writers, so Jules Verne and some of the popular press, and it appears, because this was widely believed, that some killers took the precaution of taking their victims' eyes with them to make sure there was no
They seem really
photo.
principally to be concerned with her hat in that picture.
Yes.
Where's that hat? I think it's over there. I can't reach it.
Queen has a Christmas message, as do we. In fact, as we approach the end of Series 13, it's time for us to reveal that every episode of QI, every single one, since the very first, has included a secret message which nobody has spotted. Where do you think it's hidden?
Is it on your face? Have you just encrypted some of your delightful laughter lines into some... Perhaps it's in Klingon. Merry Christmas.
It's not on my face.
Is it in the credits or the theme tune?
Theme tune.
The theme tune.
What? No.
Yes. It's in code. What sort of code do you think it might be?
Morse code.
Morse code is the right answer.
No, really?
Yes! It was composed by the prolific Howard Goodall, whom people will know from Vicar of Dibley and Blackadder and many other theme tunes, as well as serious work. And his colleague Simon Nathan decoded this, and this is what it actually says. That is actually a decoding of the long and the shorts, the minims and the crotchets, if you like, in musical terms. And it does come out at www.alanzero-and-stephenhero.com. And that is... I know, I'm sorry. I didn't...
Years you've been like in the stocks.
Oh,
that's
poor Alan. Well, I didn't know it until I was told either, Alan. It's not my... Oh, my God! What happened there? What the hell was that?
It's a light.
Was it a lamp?
No,
he's got a bad ankle. I'm just taking him out. I can't afford to keep him.
I absolutely shut myself.
Absolutely shut yourself. My God. So where were we? Oh, we were with this, www.alanzero-and-stephenhero.com. And you might find, ladies and gentlemen, including panelistas, that that is a real URL, a real web address that you can find a little QI Easter egg in if you visit it.
Wow, if you've got nothing better to do with your life.
It's a jolly exciting thing to do with your life.
Yes, it is, of course.
Oh, yes. So, this... I knew there'd be trouble. I mentioned to you that that hidden code was discovered by Simon Nathan. He's in the audience somewhere. Where are you, Simon?
Is he wearing an anorak?
There he is, over there. He's not wearing an anorak. Well done. Thank you very much. There are other TV shows have also hidden Morse code inside them.
Have they?
Yeah. Do you know of one? One quite well-known example. It's pretty obvious when you think about it.
Loose women.
Morse. Is it?
Morse. Yeah. Morse, yeah. The composer Barrington Falloon. Like to...
Never.
That's his name, yes. Right. Barrington Falloon. Nice chap. Very nice fellow. He used to hide the name of the murderer very often in the opening. Ding, 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 there.
Yes. Wasn't it like this? Hang on, I've actually... Look.
Oh, hello.
Right. It was like this, wasn't it? He'd tap it out, and then when the murderer appeared, he went...
What's the best way to get from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre without seeing any French people?
Underwater, look, just go straight along the river.
What about if you went at lunchtime?
Yeah?
Because they're all stuffing their faces with pate, aren't they? You could just... Sorry, out lunch. They all break for lunch, don't they? Apart from the tourists.
With your eyes shut. Do it with your eyes shut. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Wear a blindfold and say, where's the Louvre? Show me the Louvre! people might say, no point, it's all art. So I want to experience the ambience without seeing any of you Frenchies.
A big long line that you would fly down.
From the Eiffel Tower. That might be. No, I mean, in a way, you were very close, Alan. We were trying to get you to talk about the remarkable sewage system of Paris. Their sewers echo their streets exactly. So under the Champs-Élysées, there's a sewer as wide as it, called the Champs-Élysées. They even have street signs in the sewers for the streets and all the side streets, and at every intersection, they have the street names. So if you knew Paris above ground, you'd never get lost. You could walk along these wonderful sewers.
Boulevards.
It's smelly, obviously.
Cafes.
There they are. They're rather fine examples of the art of the sewer maker. And they used to have excursions. Right up until 1975, you could get a boat every last Thursday and Saturday of the month, and you would...
full of shit.
You'd have to really hate French people to do that, though, wouldn't you?
There we are, look.
There they are. Here are some turds from the deuxième côté. On the left...
How do you think they clean them?
Oh,
What, the people?
No. The sewers.
Everyone has to flush their toilet at once with no poo in it.
I love the way your mind works, Alan.
I'd probably do it, though.
And I use the word works quite wrongly. So... Actually, could you press your buzzer, Rich? As a hint.
They roll a giant cleaning balls
Yes,
down here.
well done. Wow. Good cultural
I was going to
reference
suggest
getting
they
there.
trained elephants and put bristles over their back and led them.
That would work. No, it's a big ball that scrapes the side. They send the ball down with a great whoosh of water, and it cleans the sides and works very well, apparently.
Now, back to the railways. Tell me, who wouldn't be seen dead in first class?
Who wouldn't be caught dead? There's a clue in the question.
I dated a pilot for a bit, you know, an ex-Red Arrow, actually.
When you say you dated him for a bit of what exactly?
Well, I
3
did...
air miles?
I asked him once, I did say to him, will you,
Will you land?
When we were in a bit of a saucy situation, I said, will you do the pilot's voice? Will you pretend you're landing the plane? And he said, where are we landing?
I said Brazil.
I said... He didn't enter into the spirit of things at all. He started asking if we'd had clearance from the tower.
Oh,
but he said
what's
to me...
it got to do with
it has
the
got
railways?
something to do...
OK.
Well, I just thought you'd like that image. And then...
This whole show has been a delight for me.
He said to me that they have cupboards for if people die in the plane, they put them in a holding area because people do die in the air.
And they put them in a...
In a sort of, you know, where they might put your bags or your coat. They put cadavers. If someone dies
they put them
mid-air...
in overhead lockers?
They have a... Not overhead.
Can you imagine trying to stuff that, like...
That's impressive.
Whose bag is
I'm
that?
just trying to get
That's
my bag.
another-
Like... Oh, dead.
Not until you get home that you're like, oh, I picked up a dead body, not my bag.
But we're talking about the railways. It was a specific railway that ran from Waterloo out to Brookwood in Surrey. Why would it do that? It's the largest cemetery in the whole of the UK. Oh. And there used to be the London Necropolis Railway. And it was built in the 1850s, and it was to transport bodies out. They had a real problem with where they were going to put dead bodies.
I know, Surrey.
Yes, that's it. The churchyard of St Martin in the Fields was only 200 foot square, and yet it had 60,000 people in it, so they really...
What? Is that the one off Trafalgar Square?
Off
Yeah.
Trafalgar Square,
Is necro dead people?
Yes, it is.
I recognise that from another
As in-
phrase.
Yes. So the trains had first, second and third class carriages for the dead. The main sell of the first one was that your loved dead person did not have to be anywhere near a lower class person as they left London.
God.
It was opened between 1854 and 1941. An estimated 203,000 people made that particular one-way trip.
In coffins?
Yes, so there was a hearse carriage, and then there was a mourner's carriage.
First class.
Yeah, it was a hearse carriage. First and second class mourners had their own waiting room away from the third class, and then Anglicans and non-Anglicans had separate stations at the cemetery. And actors would always get off at the non-conformist stop because it was the only one that would perform funerals on a Sunday, and that's the only day that actors got the day off. And so they were buried in a special section on a Sunday. What I like is there was a licensed bar at Brookwood Station when you arrived, and there was a large sign that said, "Spirits served here."
I love that there was just a day for actors to have. That must have been the loudest day.
The Sunday.
Yeah. No! How can I make this about me?
Are you most likely to come across a UFO? Yes, Milligan.
In the sky?
Anybody else? Yes.
Reading. Not much happens in Reading, so...
Don't you think they want to go somewhere where the stuff is happening?
No, because they want to be secret. The whole of Reading could be aliens, you wouldn't even know.
Why do they want to be secret? This big assumption that they come here all this way and
That's
then just
true.
hide.
Somebody knows a lot about them, don't they?
Near airports, because they always look like planes, weirdly.
Yes, that is quite a strange thing, isn't it? They
Yeah.
do look a bit like planes. And the answer is the ocean. The most common and most dangerous UFOs are unidentified floating objects. Usually pieces of lost cargo, and they lie along the shipping routes just under the surface. They can damage ships tremendously. Between 2008 and 2013, an average of about 1,700 shipping containers were lost at sea. Look at this picture. That is seriously bad packing, isn't it? That's
Surely not in one go.
Well, about half of those 1,700 came from a single ship, the MOL Comfort, The ship actually broke in half and all the containers went into the sea.
Well, that's fair enough then. That
yeah.
wasn't careless, was it?
Some of the strange stuff that has washed up on the sea. In 2008, a 6-foot-tall Lego man, my people, washed up on Brighton Beach.
Oh,
That's amazing.
The really extraordinary thing is I've been trying to find out what happened to it.
Just swam on.
If anybody knows, please, could you let me know? I want to know where the Brighton Lego man is. I'd like to come and say hello.
Why is it never a Lego woman that's washed up?
Because the Lego woman wasn't beach ready.
Recipe for a disastrous marriage.
Dead vicar.
It would be. It would be. Yep.
Live vicar, lovely couple, escaped Bengali tiger.
Yeah, that's really tricky.
You've painted a word picture, Greg. Let's think first about budget.
The price of the wedding.
The price of the wedding, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
so
it about 20 grand now?
But yeah, is that a good thing? I mean, does that affect the long term?
So the more you spend doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a happier marriage.
It's actually the more you spend, the shorter the marriage.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Isn't that extraordinary?
It is
Really?
extraordinary.
Mine should be over in a couple of weeks. What's the bloody fortune?
It was economists at Emory University, Atlanta, who discovered this. They found an inverse correlation between money spent and how long it lasts. Those who spent less than $1,000, which is what, £700, had divorce rates 53% below average, while those who spent more than 20,000, you were talking about that as a sum, had divorce rates 46% above average. But what about numbers who attend weddings? Is that a similar inverse correlation? The more who come, the shorter the marriage?
So, because of the cost factor.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, the reverse is true. The more people who witness the wedding, the longer it lasts. So you've got to have a cheap wedding with lots of people. That seems to be the key. This is Randy Olson, a PhD student at Michigan State. He found that couples who marry in front of more than 200 people are 92% less likely to get divorced than those who only have a few witnesses.
Really, you want to get married in Selfridges on Christmas Eve?
Or maybe, if you want to really cheap and cheerful but lots of people, maybe somewhere like McDonald's in Hong Kong. For $900, you could get 200 guests at a McDonald's.
McDonald's Happy Marriage.
And it's a happy marriage. You get a 2-hour venue rental. You get 50 McDonald Land character gifts. Wow. You get 2 McDonald balloon wedding rings.
Yeah, but how many burgers do you get? Come on, give us that info. I'm thinking about getting remarried.
It's a very simple ceremony, isn't it? You point to the bride. Do you love it? I'm loving it.
Thank you for watching.